You feel?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Ross, the Rossland rosbilt. This is video 2 of How Long Does It Take to Make Just One. Thank you for joining me. Where we left off last time, we procured our wonderful tin, and now we need to cut it down. The first thing that you'll notice when you try to cut a tin with shears is that you immediately wind up with 2 razor sharp edges, one on each side. You can wear a pair of gloves, but you'll also notice that the corrugations are very resistant to bending. The rounded edge is also resistant, and the whole process becomes very awkward. And as the tail grows longer, you wind up with an edge that's slashing at your face, and it's not satisfactory. It's most unpleasant. So what to do? At the time, I realized that I was going to have to come up with something better. And it just so happened that it was pretty much the start of the plasma cutter revolution, where the plasma cutter was now available for the non-industrial workshop. I went off to Canadian Tire. I bought one, I brought it home, and it was the way, the truth, and the light. So we're going to use a plasma cutter to cut our tin. But the issue with a plasma cutter is that the tin needs to be grounded. It needs to rotate evenly and at a consistent speed. So I needed to have a jig. I spent about a week trying out various jigs, kind of sticking with a Lazy Susan type thing. I had a little wheel and the thing would rotate and I'd hold the torch on the side. It was not satisfactory. And then a breakthrough. Saturday morning I was walking the dog in Dufferin Grove Park, where I used to, well, not in the park, but I used to live next to the park. And I saw what looked like a brown hat lying in the grass. It wasn't a hat, it was a steel rotor from a car. And I saw the top of that steel rotor, and I thought, you know, if that's the diameter that it appears to be, I have a use for that. So I carried it off home, and by the end of the day, I'd come up with a rotating jig to cut tins on that I have used unaltered for the last 16 years. Behold, the Rossland 2000. So the grounding clamp is right here. It's just a spring-loaded bar that sits on top of the steel rotor. Rotate the rotor, and the tin wonderfully fits right on the top here. The plasma cutter is right underneath there. I'm going to turn the fume extractor fan on, because using a cutter produces a lot of gas and fumes. So I'm also going to wear a mask. So I'm going to stop talking now, put the extractor fan on, and I'm going to make 2 cuts in the tin. A little wobbly, but let's go give it a try. I'm going to use a glove because the thing gets hot. Alright, ready? Here we go. One. And 2. So we'll let the fan suck that gas out, and I'll see you back at the workbench. Okay, so here we have our tin. It's about yay big. I think it's about 3.5 inches. What the plasma cutter does is it melts the metal. So instead of a razor sharp edge, you actually have a rounded edge there. So it's much safer to work with. And as you can see, it's a perfectly straight line, cleanly cut. If you cut it too fast, it doesn't penetrate very well. If you cut it too slowly, it leaves blobs of metal. So I think I got it down pretty good. What we're going to do now, we're going to use this thing here And I'm going to bang the bottom out. And the reason why I bang the bottom out is because if I don't, it will vibrate in sympathy with the resonator cone, and it produces a double sound, like an echo. It sounds almost like a Jamaican steel drum, which, while Jamaican steel drums are great for that, it doesn't work very well here. It confuses the sound. So I'm going to take away the ability for that to move by banging it out. This is just a tube with a carriage bolt welded onto the end of it, and a handle. Again, another tool that I came up with and have been using consistently. The metal is nice and malleable. If it's too tinny, then the sound isn't quite right. Asian tins have a different metal content, and I used to also use the tops of Asian tins as soundboards on the top of the Italian tins, because they had a mellower sound, and the combination of the higher tensility and the more mellow Asian sound gave it a really nice tone. And there we have it. See, what that's going to do now is that's not going to vibrate with the soundboard. It's going to reflect the sound back up and out of the tin. Okay, what we're going to do next time is we're going to make the ring for our cone to sit on. And if you haven't already, you'll know when that video's up by getting an alert if you subscribe. And I hope to see you then. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.